Hey guys, happy Easter. Let's give everybody 2 minutes to jump on. Oh, the weather has been crazy. The hail. We were at my mom's house having a little Easter lunch, and we were like, is it hailing out? And so my husband ran outside to bring his car into my mom's garage, and the second he got it back in, it was done raining. So, hey Allie. My girl, she's on. Hi. Oh, I just finished a bike ride. My mom just jumped on. Hey mom. Just finished a bike ride. I'm super sweaty, so I'm really excited to stretch. We're gonna work on quads and hip flexors today. Hey Monica. Hi Teresa. So yeah, some quads, some hip flexors. So we'll be doing like some lizard and stuff. I know some of you hate when I do that because you're like, I just want to lay there. But no. Hey Natalie. Hi Mandy. Give everybody one more minute. Hope you guys have been having a nice day. I saw snow on Tuesday. That seems kind of weird. Hey Katie, hey Jamie. Because the high was like 46, but it still said snow. So, oh, see, Mandy likes lizard. Allie gets mad at me when I do lizard and restorative because she's like, that's not restorative enough. But y'all, we've been sitting for 4 weeks, have we not? Some of you are probably really good about like running and getting out. I don't like walking that much. Just like walks around the neighborhood. I don't know. We've done it a little bit, but all right, it's 5:32, so we'll go ahead and get started. So let's just go ahead and come on your backs into Shavasana. Make sure you have all your props or anything that you might want. We'll definitely want a strap today because we are going to stretch the quads with the strap. And definitely at least a pillow or two. So let's go ahead and come down onto our backs. In Shavasana, your feet can extend out. I like my palms to face up. Maybe you want to take one to your heart and one to your belly. You can do so. And just kind of get all your wiggles out for a second. I kind of like to squeeze my cheeks and get like real tense in the back of my body and then relax and let go. Maybe take your shoulders away from your earlobes. And just begin to lay heavy here. Feel the silence. Maybe just listen to what's going on outside with the wind. Just allow yourself to settle. Just that normal breath, that normal cadence. Begin to take a deep inhale in through your nose. Fill all the way up to the top when you're ready. Take a little pause at the top. Now on your exhale, take a big burst of sigh out your mouth. Just feel your shoulders soften as you let that air go. And do that 2 more times on your own. Get a little uncomfortable with doing this in the comfort of your own home with no one else around you to guide you. So take big breaths in, fill all the way up, full expansion of the lungs, take a little pause at the top, and then that big sigh out, and allow that sigh to give your body the opportunity to melt. And do one more on your own. Big inhale, think belly, ribs, chest, throat, crown, and big sigh out. Good. Now just begin to seal the lips, close off the throat, and I want you to take big inhales and exhales in and out of your nose. So it's a 3-part breath. I want you to breathe in for 3, pause for 1, breathe out for 3 or maybe a tad bit longer, trying to even out the breaths, but really focusing on the exhales rather than the inhales. So I'll give you a few moments to settle into that breath. Inhale for 3, pause for 1, exhale for 3. Maybe bring your awareness to the belly and the chest. Inhales, you notice the belly rises. Exhale, notice that the belly and the chest fall. Take a few more here. For 3, 2, and 1. Now just begin to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Yeah, and then reach your arms up high overhead just like you were waking up from a great nap. Stretch your toes, bring them together, make yourself really long here. Maybe your back sways up off of the earth. And then on your exhale, hug your knees into your chest. So feel the spine press into the mat. Give yourself a big hug. Maybe draw the belly button into the spine to create some more space for your thighs into your belly. Give yourself a good squeeze. Think about bringing the knees up to the chest first and then pressing down on the shin. So you can rock side to side if you want. I like to take my gaze in the opposite direction of my knees, giving myself a little spinal massage for 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's go ahead and come up to seated. So fingers behind the backs of the thighs. Go ahead and roll up, and let's get into the spine a little bit first. So come into your box. Just begin to stack your shoulders over your wrists. Good. And then just drop your head. Allow the crown of the head to hang heavy to the floor. Neck is really lazy, and shake your head yes and no. And if you want to begin to rock the shoulders from side to side, sway your hips, you can. And I like to take hip circles, so I like to draw circles with my hips. They touch my heels. I draw a circle around my hands with my shoulders and back down. And I take that in both directions a few times, maybe 3 clockwise and 3 counterclockwise. And I normally feel and hear some pops and some snaps, and that's okay. And then meet me back in your box pose. Let's articulate the spine a little bit. So inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze, squeeze your shoulder blades together. I want your gaze to be really soft here. Focusing on the tailbone being high, belly to the earth, pressing your chest in between your shoulders. This is cow pose. Now exhale, press the earth away, round through the spine. Tuck your tailbone under, chin to chest. Nice strong arms here. This is cat pose. Good. Inhale, open up your chest. Yeah. Exhale, press the earth away. Cow. We'll take one more. Inhale, gaze lifts. Maybe close the eyes for this round. Exhale, press the earth away. Round through the spine. Good. While we're here, let's go ahead and sit back into child's pose. So knees come wide. Toes together. Just sit your hips back to your heels. Reach your arms forward. Forehead finds the earth. Now, if your forehead doesn't find the earth, or if you want to take this a little bit more gentle, you can grab any of your pillows or your books, and you can have your chest rest on your pillow. That feels really nice. You can take your forehead to books if you'd rather do that. Might feel good to you if you can't get your forehead down to the earth, or if you have that bolster pillow, you can lay it in between you and kind of take your cheek to one side and rest, or just take it traditionally like we would do in the studio. It's up to you. I'm just going to take it traditionally with no props. Let's stay here for 3 minutes. Just really get into those hips. Make sure the tops of your feet are flat. You have a nice long spine here from the crown to the tailbone. Fingers are soft on the mat. You can have a gentle bend in the elbows. If you want more of a shoulder stretch, you would tense your fingers up. You could do that for a couple breaths. You feel tight in the shoulders. We will get into the shoulders a little bit today, so no rush. Deep breaths in and out through the nose. Remember that 3-part breath. Inhaling for 3, pausing for 1, exhaling for 3. This all comes in and out through the nose. Make sure your shoulders are away from the ears. Can you sit your hips back closer to your heels, grounding your forehead into the earth? Maybe you flip your palms up for the next few breaths. Take a big breath in and out. Big inhale. Exhale. Take another breath in and a breath out. Begin to walk your hands underneath your shoulders and press up. We're going to come on down to our bellies. Make sure you have that strap close by. We're not going to use it right away. It can be a strap, it can be a towel, it can be a belt. Just make sure you have it close by, up by one of your shoulders. Let's open up the spine just a little bit. So take your hands, place them directly underneath your shoulders, and bring your forehead down to the earth. Tops of the feet are down. I want you to press through the palms. Just begin to lift your chest up off of the earth. Neck stays neutral, so I'm not cranking my neck up. I'm only lifting my chest, okay? Now lower it back down. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, peel the chest up. Neck stays neutral. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Exhale, lower. 1 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Now let's come into a Sphinx pose. So walk your hands up, making the number 11 with your forearms, planting the elbows and the forearms down into the earth. Gaze is neutral, shoulders are away from your ears. Imagine that you're pulling your chest in between your forearms. You should feel your pubic bone pressing into the earth. Just hold here for a couple of breaths, and as you breathe, notice that the belly presses into the earth on the inhale, and on the exhale, it falls away. Big breaths here. It should be a little uncomfortable, but should feel nice. For 3. For 2 and 1. If you want to press through the palms and straighten out, you can. Shoulders away from the ears. No pinching in the back. Yeah. And then go ahead and lower down and grab your strap. So we're going to get a quad stretch. I don't care which side you start with. And if you don't want to use a strap, you don't have to. I'll show you that you can use your hand, and I can also show you how to get an additional shoulder stretch. So for those that want to use the strap, take your strap and just, I don't care which leg you start with. I don't know if I said that already, but you're going to put it around the top of your foot. Hold onto the strap in your hand. You can just lower your head down to the earth and relax. Just keep trying to get the heel to the cheek. Now, to your butt cheek. If you don't want to use the strap, you can take the same hand to the same foot. Give yourself a thumbs up on your foot. Okay, so you'll notice my thumb is pointing up. Thumb points up. Try to begin to send your elbow up to the sky. Flip your fingertips towards your shoulder and press down. Okay, you can hang out there. I think it's probably challenging to drop your forehead down in this pose, but you could try. So it's up to you. Doing this is also going to give you a shoulder stretch, might even give you more intense stretch on your quad, okay? Or you can use the strap. And if that shoulder stretch becomes too much, you can just use your hand to stretch the quad deeper. It's up to you. Let's stay here for about a minute. If you want to switch halfway through, maybe 5 breaths, you do 1 and then you switch it up, you can do so. Try to relax your glutes as much as you can. Stay soft here. You can use your other forearm as a pillow if your head is down, or if you want to use your actual pillow, you can do that too. Just a few more breaths. Last 3, 2, and 1. Now as you release, try to not slingshot your leg. Just try to lower it down nice and slow like you're moving through mud. And then just go ahead and switch that out. So opposite leg this time. If you want to use your hand and want to get that shoulder stretch, give yourself a thumbs up on your foot. My palm is on the top of my foot. My thumb is by my big toe, giving me a thumbs up. And then I rotate my fingers around. So I'm grabbing, my finger pads are grabbing my toe pads. My thumb is pointing down towards my butt now. And I'm pressing down, getting that shoulder stretch and quad stretch. Remember, if you want to switch this halfway through, you can. Maybe you find that you don't have enough rotation on one shoulder to do it on both. That's perfectly fine. I'm going to go ahead and take my strap around my foot and come on down. You do you. Just continue to breathe. Try to relax your glutes. Press the pubic bone into the earth. A few more breaths. Last 3. Last 2. And last 1. Begin to slowly release your leg. Don't slingshot it. Let it come down really slow. You can set your strap off to the side. We'll stretch the shoulders a little bit more, and then we'll get into the hip flexors. So we're going to tee out your, let's start on the right. So tee out your right arm and take your left cheek down to the earth. My left hand is directly underneath my shoulder. My left elbow is pointing up. So go ahead and take a peek at your right hand. Your right hand should be an extension of your shoulder, so it's like you're making half of a T. We're not trying to make a half X or a half Y, okay? Half of a T. Now begin to roll over onto your right side body. So stacking your legs one on top of the other. You can hang out here, or if you want to take your top leg and drop it behind you, you can. You're rolling over onto the right shoulder. This will be a really nice chest stretch. I was talking to my mom today about how we've both been like having some like weird tightness in our chest, and we think it's probably like from hunching over all day now, especially now. So this should feel really nice. And if this is not enough, a couple of options here. You can bring your other leg up to bend, so both soles of the feet are on the floor. Or if you want to take your left hand and drape it around the small of your back, you can for another shoulder stretch on the other side. Or if you want to try to get your left hand to find your right and take a bind, you can do that as well. So up to you. We'll take 10 breaths here. So fluid breaths in and out the nose. Try to relax your muscles as much as you can. halfway there. Three more breaths. Two more. One more breath. Slowly begin to roll back onto your belly. Take one ear to the earth, bring both hands by the side body, and just kind of rest for a second and notice the difference that you feel on the right shoulder, that right chest, through the right pectoral. And then we'll take that on the left. So bring your left arm straight out, so a straight line from your fingertips to your elbow, elbow to shoulder. Right hand comes under the shoulder. Left cheek is, my left cheek is down to the earth. Begin to roll onto the left side body. So you're rolling over onto the shoulder. You can stay there. You can stamp that top foot behind you. You can drape your right arm at the small of your back. Close your eyes. Try to rest here. You might notice a difference on this side. Not a big deal. Stretching through the chest and the shoulder. 10 breaths. You're halfway there. Three more breaths. Two more breaths. Last breath in. And a breath out. Begin to slowly roll back onto your belly. Hands come by the side. Favorite ear, favorite cheek comes to the earth. Just rest your hands heavy, palms face up. Noticing the difference you feel on the shoulders. And maybe you bend the knees, soles of the feet up to the earth, and just sway the feet, windshield wiper from side to side. Maybe you switch ears and continue to do that. Feels good on the quads too. And then lower your feet down, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, press up into box. We're gonna begin to come into lizard. So I would go ahead and probably grab your blocks or your books if I were you. If you would prefer to come into lizard from down dog, you can, but you can get there from box. So come into your box. I have my books just stacked up right in front of me in the center of my mat. I'm gonna bring my right foot to the outside of my right hand. So my left knee is down onto the earth, and I'm kind of bringing my left knee back a little bit, and my right foot is on the outside of my hand. Try to keep the leg close to the rib cage, so don't let it splay out. Try to tuck it in, your knees tracking over your toe, over the second to third toe, and press your chest forward like we were doing in that Sphinx pose or that cow pose earlier. So you can stay high on your palms with your back knee down, or you can bring your forearms down to your books and hang out here. Or if you want a little bit more of a stretch, You can curl up your toe, lift your back knee, and hang out in lizard here. It's up to you. I'm gonna stay up high. My hips are super tight. They've been in constant flexion. So we'll stay here for about 1.5 minutes. Try to keep a lot of space between your tops of the shoulders and your earlobes. Big fluid breaths. You're halfway there. Three breaths. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Breath in and out. Whew. 1 more inhale. Now on your exhale, begin to heel toe your right foot over to your left hand. We're going to come into pigeon. So now my right foot is behind my left wrist. Now I'll go ahead and sit down. I take my left leg really far behind me. My right heel might be tucked in close to my left groin. That's okay. Now you have your books from when you were in lizard. If your hip is really lifted, you can shove the books underneath to square them off. And then you'll drape your chest over your leg. You can come onto your forearms. You can take the books if they're not under your hips and drop down onto that. Maybe your forehead comes down to the earth. It's up to you. I want you to think about your frontal hip points having chains that are bolted down to your mat, so you wouldn't be able to shift from side to side. Hip bones stay nice and square. If you can, let your head relax, getting a stretch on the right outer hip here. Try to soften your gaze. Maybe shut the eyes. If you're gripping your hands together in front of you, try to release them. Loose fingertips. Maybe check in with your hips. Make sure they're square. Three breaths. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more breaths. Big breath in. Breath out. 1 more inhale. And an exhale. Begin to lift your chest up. Walk your hands back towards your legs. Good. So option here, you could curl up your back toe and just come in back into your box. And if you want to shake that right leg out, you can. Ooh, my hips are so tight. If you want to shake your hips, wag your tail, you can. Oh man, definite sit back into child's pose, shift forward. I really needed that. All right, so we'll take the lizard on the left side. So your left foot will come to the outside of the left hand. If you need to pick up your foot and move it, you can. I'm gonna scoop my right knee back. This stretch should happen on the right hip flexor. So my foot is on the outside of my hands, my back knee is down. Option to grab your books if you wanna come on down to your forearms. Maybe you stay lifted, you feel plenty of stretch. Try to keep the shin close to the left arm. Welcome to curl up your back toe. Keep pressing the chest forward. This side isn't as bad. About a minute and a half. And we'll come into that pigeon, getting the stretch on the outer hip, which is why I want you to keep the knee close to the ribs so that you're really focusing just on the hip flexor. Gaze is soft. Halfway there. Keep pressing the chest forward. 3 more breaths. Really feel this stretch on the right hip flexor. 2 more breaths. Last breath. And begin to heel toe your left foot over to your right wrist. Tuck it behind. You'll drop the left shin down. Scoot the right toes back. Sit up nice and tall. If you need to shove books underneath your left hip to get them square. Take a big inhale. Exhale, fold into sleeping swan. Just begin to walk your hands forward. Maybe you drop down onto your forearms, maybe onto your forehead. Your left heel can be close to your right groin. That's going to be more gentle. The farther away your heel is from your groin, the more stretch you'll feel, but you'll really have to focus on squaring the hips. So don't let the weight dump into the left hip. Keep it nice and square. I normally kind of overcompensate for that, and I dump more weight into my right hip, knowing that as I breathe into it, I'll end up shifting my weight. So settle in here. Shoulders are soft. Get all your wiggles out at the beginning if you can, so you can find some stillness. You're halfway there. Three more breaths. Big breath in. And big breath out. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath in. And a breath out. Begin to lift your chest. Walk your hands back up. Curl up your back toe. Lift your back knee. Tuck your left knee in, down to the earth. Right knee will tuck in. If you need to shake your left leg out, wag your tail, shake your hips, get some C curves. You can. And then cross your ankles behind you. Go ahead and come on through to seated. I'm going to swivel around so that you can see me. Grab some books and some pillows. Should be close by. You're going to extend your legs straight out in front of you on your mat. We're going to take caterpillar pose. Okay, so my legs are about, I've got about a book's width distance in between my heels, so I don't need to squeeze them together. Just casually extend your legs out in front of you and let your toes kind of flop to the side so your shins are not pointing up to your ceiling, they're kind of pointing out towards your side walls. We're gonna take caterpillar. So we're gonna get a stretch in the hamstrings and a stretch in the low back. So I'm gonna take my books and I'm gonna stick them in between my legs, about at my shin. And remember that your books can go two ways. You can stand them up as well. You might just kind of have to squeeze them a little bit with your knees. And then I'm gonna set my pillows on top of my books. I'm gonna start with, I think I can go for a one. And then I'm just gonna drape myself, I'm gonna drape myself over. I'm gonna round the spine, just allow my head to hang super heavy. My arms can hang out over my pillows as well. And then if you want to take a pillow away, you can. If you want to stick the pillow up, you can. So you can smash your head down into it. And just allow the spine to round slightly. And then maybe in about a minute or so, you pull the pillow away. I probably will, because I know that I can go way deeper into this stretch, but I don't want to force myself into anything. So just let your body naturally open up into this. Give yourself a minute to kind of figure out where you should be. I like to place my hands on my shins as well, palms face up. There's a slight bend in your knees. They don't need to be locked out. Take about 3 more breaths here. Then I want you to remove or drop down a level on your prop. So just after this, you'll just let your body hang really naturally. So I'm going to go ahead and remove mine. 10 breaths here. Head hangs heavy. Feel a stretch in the back of the neck. Maybe shake the head yes and no. Shoulders away from the ears. More breaths. Inhale. Exhale. A big breath in. And breath out. One more inhale. And exhale. Now slowly begin to roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. Stacking the shoulders over the hips. Head is the last thing to come up. I'm going to go ahead and swivel back around to my mat. You stay where you are, but take your books and place them behind your hips. We're going to come into a heart opener before we come on down to our back. So I'm going to place my books about a book's distance behind my hips. So I have like a blank space of books and then my books. I'm going to use my bolster. You probably know where we're going. I'm gonna take my bolster long ways and set it on my books. Make sure that my bolster, you can do the same thing with pillows, just kind of make a little slant there. And I'm just gonna lay down, lay my spine over my bolster or my pillows. Your soles of the feet can be on the earth. If you choose knees up, you can extend your feet out, or you can take the soles of the feet together. Arms are gonna be by the side body, just feeling that stretch along the chest, opening through the shoulders. And if you're on pillows, the crown of the head might come to the earth behind you. Perfectly fine, because then you're getting a stretch through the throat as well. So we'll be here for 3 minutes, and then we'll take a slight twist, just a really quick twist, and then we'll end in Shavasana. This is my favorite pose. It's a really good place to feel the breath expand through the ribs, really understanding what it feels like to get that full expansion and that full contraction of the inhale and the exhale. This is really great for anybody that's had allergies or some chest congestion, just to kind of open the chest up and break all of that crap inside up. Also really good for those that have been sitting over your phones or just sitting down. You can't really help it with what's going on right now, but just kind of reversing that hunching over. Focusing on the rib cage, and I want you to think about having wide breaths. So can you expand out rather than up with the ribs? So feeling your ribs go out to the sides of your room rather than feeling your belly go up towards the ceiling. Wide breath. Big breath in and a breath out. Deep inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. And an exhale. Now, if you'd rather stay here and not take the twist, that's totally fine. Otherwise, if you want to come with me, just begin to press yourself up off of your props. Go ahead and take them out from your mat. You can give yourself a little room. We're going to take a spinal twist just really quickly before we lay in Shavasana. So just slowly lay down onto your backs, stack your knees over your hips, tee out your arms, and then drop your knees to one side. Doesn't matter which side. Try to keep both shoulders rooted into the earth. Keep that top side body nice and long, so maybe press your top hip towards your wall. And I like to gaze over my opposite shoulder of my knees. We'll take 5 breaths. Otherwise, you just stay in that heart opener. Last 3. Last 2. Last breath. Slowly begin to come back to center, nice and slow, and just drop your knees to the opposite side. A lot of length on that top side body. Gaze in the opposite direction of your knees, feeling the twist from the base of your tailbone all the way up to the crown of your head. wringing out the organs, any of your Easter candy that you stole from your kids, or jelly beans that you've left in your candy jar, or chocolate chip cookies you've made because all you can do is bake because you're so bored. Whatever it may be, just twist it out here. Three more breaths. Last two. Last breath. Whenever you're ready, just begin to come back to center. Extend your legs out. Just give yourself a moment to rest here. Maybe notice any changes if you have found some new spaces that you've created, if you've eased some tension. Just give yourself a moment to rest. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Give yourself a full body stretch if you need to before hugging your knees into your chest. And then making your way onto your favorite side so that you can press up into seated. Oh, that felt great. I'm so glad that I get to do this with you guys when I'm in the studio. You know, I try to walk around and give you guys some love. So it's nice for me to be able to take these classes as well. Go ahead and bring your hands to your heart center. The light and love in me honors, acknowledges, and respects the love and light in each and every one of you. Hope you have a great rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you again in our virtual studio soon. Namaste. Check our Instagram for what's going on this week with all of the instructors, with the live stuff. And then we've been putting our flows up on YouTube. So if you miss one, go to YouTube, search for Body Mind Yoga, and you'll see our little lotus logo, that's the word I was looking for. So pretty much all the instructors have put something up on there. Some of them have just been these live classes. And if you'd like to share the word with your friends that we're doing this for free, we'd appreciate it. I will see you guys soon. Have a great evening.